All right, so welcome to how to lose weight the easy way without working out in 4 simple steps. So throughout the course of this video, I'll pretty much be describing to you guys how you can lose weight the easy way, 4 simple steps. Start off with step one. Let's get right into it. All right, so step one is understanding the core principle. Now you're probably wondering, what is this? What is this? This is a function machine, and your body works pretty much the same way. You have inputs and you have outputs. This is a physical machine. Inputs, which is the food you eat, and then the outputs, which is your calories that you burn every day. So simple science, mathematics, fairly easy to understand. So you have calories consumed. If that is greater than the calories burned, you will gain weight. That is called being in a surplus. Now, if the calories you consume is less than the calories you burn, that is called being in a deficit, at which you will lose weight. So if you're in a surplus, you eat more than you burn, you consume more than you burn, that's a surplus, you will gain weight. Being in a deficit, losing weight, is when you burn more than you consume. And it's binary, black and white, it's one or the other. You can't out-train a bad diet. That is extremely important. Diet is everything. What you make a conscious choice to put inside of your own body, your results will show. And we'll talk more about sort of how that works with the compounding effect later on throughout this video. Next. So you want to be eating whole foods, which is real shit, real actual whole foods. None of this processed foods. Whole foods, eating real things, ultimately you will see better results. Here we have some potatoes, asparagus, got some steak, some garlic. Looks pretty good. Okay, now the fundamentals of nutrition and macronutrients. So there's sort of 3 pillars, right? You have your proteins, you have your carbs, and you have your fats. Okay, so with the carbs, there's 4 calories in 1 gram of carbs. And then with the protein, there's 4 calories in a gram of protein. And with the fat, there is 9 calories in a gram of fat. Okay. So with that knowledge, I would strongly encourage you to try to solve this, right? So pause the video right now. There we go. Pause the video right now and see if you can solve this, and come back after you're finished and we'll go through it together. All right, so assuming that you paused the video and was able to do the calculations, we'll go through this together. So you have 20 grams of protein, so it's 20 grams of protein, and there is 4 calories per gram, so 20 times 4, and then there's 50 grams of carbs, so and there's 4 calories per gram, so it's 50 times 4, and then there's 10 grams of fat, so that's 9 times 10. The grams cancel out. That leaves us with 80 plus 200 plus 90, which gives us a total of 370 calories. If you got it right, awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. If not, you need to work on your math. All right. And that should give more context to when you're looking at sort of a nutrition label. You can say, okay, well, it has this many calories. Okay, well, how much protein does it have? How much carbs does it have? How much fat does it have? It just gives you more context as to what you're eating. So when you're at the grocery store and you're making a conscious decision of what you should be ingesting, what you should be putting in your body, always just being conscious of what you're eating, because it makes a difference. All right, step 2. Step 2 is fixing your nutrition, and that ultimately is just tracking what you eat. And the best and easiest and most effective way to do that is an app called MyFitnessPal. So you can just go in the Apple App Store, look up MyFitnessPal. This is actually a really good resource. And if you ain't tracking, you're lacking. So kind of like how we just described in the previous step, right? It tracks your carbs, it tracks your fats, and it tracks your protein, and it memorizes your meals. So if you have, say, a favorite meal, let's say you like meat and potatoes or chicken and rice or something, you just put in how much you're actually eating and it'll just memorize your meal. So every time you go to have that meal, you don't have to manually punch it in every time, but it's a really good resource. Strongly recommend you use it. Next, we have setting your calorie goal. Okay, so let's say you want to be generally eating 10 to 12 times your daily calories to lose fat. So in body weight, so you convert it. So we'll go through this together. And there's sort of two approaches. So let's say whatever your body weight is, you multiply that by 10. That's sort of a faster weight loss. Whereas if you multiplied it by 12, that's more so laid back, depending on how aggressive or passive you want to be towards attacking the goal of losing weight. And also the compounding effect. We'll get into that in more detail very shortly. Okay, so let's say you weigh 240 pounds and you want to lose 20 pounds. So if you want to take the laid back approach, multiply it by 12. 240 times 12 gives you 2,880 calories. Where if you want to take an aggressive approach where you're consuming even less calories, so you're at a higher deficit, 240 times 10 gives us 2,400 calories. So laid back approach, the aggressive approach. Laid back approach, eating this many calories, the aggressive approach, eating even less so that you're at a higher deficit. Gives us a total of 480 calorie difference, and that's daily. So tying that back to the compounding effect is that the small actions that you take on a daily basis will compound over time. So if you're consistently eating less and less calories consistently, you will see results over time. Now, to sort of mathematically represent that, whoops, go erase. Perfect. Okay. So this is how we can sort of graphically represent what we just went over together. So the laid back approach, eating about 2,880 calories, and the aggressive approach is eating even less. That would put us at a difference of 480 calories. And if we take that, multiply it, that's every day. So every day it's compounding, it's compounding. That also ties into the compounding effect. Repetitive action every day, just doing the same thing day in and day out. And also, if you wanted, you could tweak this. So let's say you're instead of 2,500, you're eating even less, right? You'll be at a higher deficit. So it's all mathematics, all input and output. Your body is just a giant function. Y equals mx plus b, whatever. Okay, so right, this is you, dude, eating some food. Maybe this is you over the holidays. Maybe you had a good Thanksgiving, you had a good Christmas, went to town on the stuffing and gravy. Buddy looks like he's having a pretty good time. There's the input. Into the function machine, there's the output. Next, we have prioritize your protein. So why do we prioritize protein? For three reasons. One, keeps you full. Two, preserves muscle mass. And three, it boosts your metabolism ever so slightly. And a good general rule of thumb is that you want to be eating 1 gram per pound of body weight. So let's say in the previous example, like this guy weighing in at 240 pounds, if he also wants to lose the 20 pounds, instead of eating 240 pounds, he wants to be eating 220 pounds because his body will naturally adjust over time. So whatever your goal is, as far as your weight, you want to be eating that much in protein, in grams of protein per day. So I'm like, when I was like 170 pounds and I wanted to weigh, say, like 150 pounds, I would eat less and less protein so that my body would naturally adjust over time. And that goes with gaining weight and with losing weight. So generally speaking, you want to be eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Next, we have only buy high volume, low calorie whole foods. So we went over this earlier briefly, but this is whole foods, real shit, like real actual whole foods. You want to be eating this stuff that is natural, whole foods. Anything that's processed, sugars and carbs and fats like this, I understand if you're on a weight loss journey, if you're trying to lose weight, maybe have this once a day. You can have this, say, on Sunday or whatever your cheat day is. And then from Monday to Saturday, you want to be eating whole foods. All right, next, step 3, stay active. Okay, so you want to be walking 8K, anywhere from 8K to 12K steps per day. And to convert that into distance traveled, that's about 7.5 kilometers or 4.7 miles. Now you can see that these individuals are out for a hike, look like they're having a pretty good time, but just doing simple things, man. Doing the simple things. Doesn't have to be crazy like David Goggins freaking running ultra marathons and whatnot, but just getting out and about, getting the feet moving, getting your heart rate up, it'll make a big difference. Next, we have strength train. If you're just starting out, and I know as we stated earlier in this video that it is without working out, but if you want to go the extra mile and actually take steps towards achieving your weight loss goals, strongly encourage you to weight train. And the bare minimum starting out, I would do 3 times a week, right? Pretty simple. So 3 times per week, what you'll be doing? You'll be doing push, you'll be doing pull, and you'll be doing legs. So push is any sort of movement where you're pushing, like push-ups, you're doing bench press, you're doing even shoulder press. That's pushing movement. Pull, you're any sort of pulling movement. So that's like doing biceps, you're doing back, you're doing like deadlifts and whatnot. Then legs, obviously, is any sort of leg movement. So you're doing squats, hack squats, leg curls, leg extensions. Also, you want to develop active hobbies. So things like yoga, stretching. A big one for me personally was martial arts. I love martial arts. Jiu-jitsu, particular, it's really good martial art, the gentle art. This guy, you see these guys, looks like he's going for a takedown. Could be susceptible to a guillotine potentially. But anyway, there's me. There's me at competition. I used to compete fairly regularly. Look at that stud. What a beast. All right, so enough of that. Surround yourself with active people. Okay, so you want to join a local gym or fitness class. Find some place where showing up means that you're around people who are already in motion. And now, as I'm sure you're already aware, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you're spending time with 4 people who are in shape and you're that 5th person, then you will start to adopt their habits, and just by natural human nature, you will be in shape. Second, attend community fitness events. So there's things like you can sign up for. There are 5Ks, there's certain boot camps, you have outdoor workouts. Probably just look online or in your local area, in your municipality. You can find tons of like just people getting together doing positive shit. All right. You want to follow and engage with fitness creators online. Now, you can follow me on Instagram at actualizedfitness. I post primarily fitness content on how you can shred fat and build muscle. As well, you can join a sports team or a martial arts gym. So those are pretty good things, like sports team, martial arts gym. It kind of gives you an objective. I understand that when you're first starting out your fitness journey and first starting to really find out what works for you, sometimes it can, I'll admit, man, like sometimes it can be kind of arduous just doing it by yourself, right? You're going out for a walk by yourself, you're going for a run by yourself, you're going to the gym by yourself. It can get a little boring. So it's good to have, you know, be doing things that you're in a community. Say you join a team or you join a gym. Everyone sort of has the same objective. Everyone sort of has the same goal in mind. You build friendships and accountability through healthy competition and skill. All right, and step four. Step four, which is a very important step, optimizing your sleep and your stress levels. So you see this individual on the left, poor sleep, right? They're just fucking doom scrolling late at night. I sometimes I like to doom scroll every now and then, right? I'm human. I like my quick hit of dopamine, but ultimately, if you have poor sleep, that will result in more cravings, worse decision making, and a slower recovery because poor sleep is ties into your emotional regulation. And most people make decisions emotionally. If you're hungry, because you're stressed. If you're hungry and you're stressed, it's these emotional triggers, lack of sleep. Someone's grumpy, it's usually lack of sleep. Angry, lack of sleep. Whereas if you can be like this dude, well rested, you will be less hungry, you'll have better cognitive ability, and you'll recover quicker. So if you are working out, which I strongly recommend you do, you optimize your sleep for recovery, and you can have higher output, as we discussed earlier, the function. All right, so that pretty much covers it. How to lose weight the easy way without working out, even though we did talk about working out, which I strongly recommend you do because it'll only accelerate the process. If you're trying to lose weight, trying to get in shape, first and foremost, you got to dial in your diet. Once you check that box, after that, if you want to accelerate the process and have even better results, start working out, start being more physical. You will see results and you will see a change in your physique. If you want to see more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.